Please, the stage is yours.
I was a little bit confused about how I should present Korean language to the audience that don't speak the language and probably don't know much about Korean culture. So I tried to construct my presentation in a very simple way so that you guys could catch as much as you can from today's lesson. Happy to be with you. A little bit of about myself. I had been living in South Korea for 5 years, from 2013, from 2012 to 2017. I did my bachelor degree over there. And at the beginning of my stay in South Korea, I had been learning Korean language for about 9 months. My Korean is not perfect. I think my level is like intermediate or so. But for I think this community, I can present this language um, from the foreign perspective because no matter how Korean I look like, or whatever my ethnic identity is, Korean language is still a foreign language for me. So I will present you like a foreign perspective on this language, and I hope that you guys will learn something from today's lesson. So let me start my presentation. Can you see that? Yeah. All right. I see. Aitwar is noting. So yeah. Welcome to Korean language. 안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. 한국어를 가르쳐 드리겠습니다. Um, when you talk about South Korea or Korea Peninsula, usually to the people's mind comes these things, right? This Korean culture that is consists of K-pop or Korean soap operas and dramas. People maybe think about Korean food or Korean technologies and these high-tech companies like LG, Hyundai, Samsung, and whatever. Um, do you have any other associations that comes to your mind when you hear about South Korea or Korea overall? Like maybe, yeah,
Women cosmetics,
cosmetics, right? Cosmetics is becoming
Workers.
widely popular. Right? What?
Hard workers.
What's that?
Hard workers. They work all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah. Right. Yeah, that's I think that's one of the cultural things, in South Korea. You gotta show that that you overwork sometimes, work overtime. Yeah, just show that you work hard. Anything else?
Aesthetic, I guess.
Aesthetics, right? Like skin things. You're
Yes.
talking about this one. Yeah,
And
right,
eyes.
right. Like,
Empire and all the traditional clothing.
right, traditional clothing. Yeah, that's these things are beautiful. This their architecture. The traditional clothing and stuff like this. All right, I think if you talk about South Korea or Korea overall, I think a lot of things comes to your mind because from from taking their independence, I think they produced so much to influence the world and to let the world know about themselves. So, talking about Korean language, I think what would be interesting to start with is to start from the context, right? How this language was emerged, because I think you will find it interesting because there are so many similarities, and I will try to explain what kind of similarities are they and how we as people from Kazakhstan, can relate to this language. So there is so many theories that are going on about Korean language and many other languages, in the world, how they were formed, how they were developed, and how and where they were originated. There is one theory that says that Korean language belongs to Altaic family language, and basically it says that there were ancient Altaic tribals that settled in Siberia, in Russian Siberia, and they started to move into different directions. So they moved to Central Asia, to the contemporary Kazakhstan, to Turkey, to Mongolia, to Manchuria, to Korean Peninsula, and to other, Middle Asian countries like Afghanistan, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and so on. So those tribals who moved to the west, they formed a tribal that today called Turkic tribal, right? If you remember the history program in your school, you learned a lot about Turkic Khagans. So many Khagans that were formed, and they started, making their nation states and so on and so on. So those tribals who moved there, they actually formed those Turkic tribals. And those who moved to Mongolia, Manchuria, to Korean Peninsula, they also formed their own tribals over there. And that's why in Altaic family language includes so many other languages in itself, because those tribals who moved into different directions, they influenced their language development. And if you ask me how many languages are there in that family, I would say there are a lot. This information I took from Wikipedia. It's like approximate regions that were kind of encompassed by those tribals who were traveling around. And in the Altaic language family, there are Turkic languages, which are Uzbek, Kazakh, Turkish, Kyrgyz languages. Those are the languages that really close to the Turkic ones. There is also Mongolic languages, Tungusic languages, Koreanic language, which is one of the part that belongs Korean language, obviously by how it sounds, and also Japonic languages. So the real evidence that we can take that uh, Altaic language family all kind of includes all those languages says that they're all similar by their grammatical structure. Even though that the vocabulary are completely different, you can say that there is a fixed form and structure that is all common in every language that I just mentioned. So when I studied at university and learned the language, those students who speak Kazakh, Uzbek, Turkish, it was so easy for them to learn this language because grammatical structure were the same, and even some uh, cultural context was also the same, such as using honorific forms when you're approached to elderly people or people who has the higher position, or uh, or you approach somebody that you don't really know, you gotta use honorific forms in every Altaic language. So this is the similarities that you have. You also have this thing that the verb always should be at the end of the sentence. And it is in a Kazakh language, it is in Turkish language, it is in Uzbek language, and it's the same thing that comes to Korean and Japanese language as well. So going back to many centuries ago, you will see that all the languages that we have now in these regions that you see in the screen, they're all kind of unified under one family, and they have so many similarities. So if you speak real good Kazakh or real good Turkish, you go to South Korea to learn Korean, and I think in 1 year you will be very proficient in that language, because the background that you already have, the language, the cultural background, it will all help you to study it faster. So going further, so you understood, right? The historical context of it all comes to the tribals that lived in Siberia, and all of them are Altai ones. So when we talk about Korean writing, um, until the 15th century, there was no writing at all in Korea. And Korean Peninsula was hugely influenced by China. There were so many ties in many aspects, in cultural, in political, in economical, and they were very close countries. And since the China was a bigger country, it hugely influenced Korean Peninsula in so many ways, especially in literacy. So, as many of you know, probably from the Yaska's lessons about Chinese language, China is a really hard language to learn. You got so many characters, hieroglyphs, and things that can make you feel confused. So without a very pronounced, very prominent training, you will not be able to learn that language. So the same comes to the writing, right? So if you say that in Korean Peninsula there was no any writing characters or letters or alphabets, the Chinese characters could be learned only by the elites, only by business elites, by political elites, and literally um, the other population of Korean Peninsula stayed illiterate. They didn't know how to, communicate in writing, how to write letters. The information was really close to them, and it was easy for the government or for the kingdom to manipulate, their people. It was all until the 15th century when the one of the greatest kings in Korea, King Sejong the Great, invented Hangul. Hangul is the original alphabet that already been existing for many centuries. And from that time, Korean Peninsula started to be the people in Korean Peninsula started to be, more literal. The science started drastically developing, into many different forms. They got their own inventions, and you see that the significance of your own language to be existing because it can actually helps you in so many ways, uh, so social wise, economic wise, science wise. And from that year, the Korean alphabet was invented, and Korean language, got many other forms, many other forms to be developed. Um, so you have many people, I think especially in post-Soviet countries, have this misconception that, Korean language has hieroglyphs, the signs that has this meaning behind it, like in Chinese language. But in Korean language, it is actually more simple because they have a very, very easy alphabet to learn. So um, to show you what this king, has invented in his work, will be in the next presentation. So this is how Korean alphabet looks like, and it's just science that you really have to learn. And when you combine, consonants and vowels, you will get the word. You don't really have to learn like thousands of characters like in Chinese language. You just learn this system, how it works, and then you making different combinations with the signs, and then you come up with the words, with the sentences, um, and with more complex forms of the language. So as you can see here, these are the consonants. These are the characters that reflect the consonant sounds. So further, I would like to do a little exercise with you. I would suggest you to turn on your microphones and see if we can learn the Korean alphabet Hangul, within one lesson. All right, so the next table, um, there is a combination of consonants and vowels. And we will start to learn how the consonants look by pronouncing them and combining with the first vowel a, right? So here you can see how they are pronounced uh, in the language that you know. So ge, right? You see ge and you see a. So we go by this row and we'll try to memorize them, right? So just repeat after me. Ga,
Ga.
Ga.
Ka.
ga, ga. Okay. Na,
Na.
Na.
da,
Da.
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 ra,
Ra.
Ra.
ma,
Ma.
Ma.
ba,
A.
Ba.
sa,
Sa.
Sa.
a,
A.
A.
ja,
Ja.
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 cha,
Cha.
Ja.
ka,
Pa.
Ka.
ta,
Pa.
Ta.
Ta.
pa,
Pa.
Ta.
pa.
Ta.
Pa.
Okay, it's easy, right? So you just say ganadara mabasa, ja cha ka ta pa ha. Okay, again. Ganadara mabasa.
Ganadara
Ganadara
mabasa.
mabasa.
Ganadara mabasa.
Ah. Ja cha ka ta pa ha.
Ja.
Ja.
Cha.
Cha.
Ta.
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 Pa.
Try to memorize how the letter looks like while you're pronouncing it. Okay, so we combining this consonant and vowel ga, all the consonant with the vowel a, right? So once again, ganadara mabasa.
Ganadara mabasa.
Ganadara mabasa.
Okay, a.
A.
Ja cha ka ta pa ha.
Ja. Cha. Ka. Ta. Pa. Ha.
Okay, now let's just start from the vowels only. So the vowels in this table are here. While you're pronouncing it, try to memorize how they look like. All right, for this lesson. All right, a,
A.
A.
ya,
Ya.
Ya.
o,
O.
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 You just like open your mouth and try to exhale the sound without forming your mouth, right? Ah,
O.
A.
okay. Ya,
Yo.
Yo.
uh-huh. O,
O.
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 Can you find the difference between a and o,
O.
between these two sounds here and here? This is a and this is o.
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 Shape of your lips, right? Like round and not round.
Sorry?
You form a circle, right? To pronounce the O.
Yeah, this one. You mean this one, right?
Yeah,
Yes, yes. You just have to form your mouth like this and try to exhale the sound. Oh, sorry. So this is the difference. Here you form your mouth. Here you don't, right? Okay, let's go to another one. Yo,
Yo.
Yo.
yo, u,
U.
you,
U.
u,
U.
U.
e.
E.
Okay. Aya, oya, oyu, uyu, e.
Ya. O. U. O. U. U.
U.
I.
U.
I.
Once again. A, ya, o, ya, o, you, u, you, I.
Ya,
Ya,
yo,
yo,
o,
you,
yo,
u,
you,
you,
I.
All right. I think it will be much easier if our lesson would be offline and you would just start writing them so that it could be stayed in your memory. So this is pretty easy and pretty easy and simple system of the alphabet. It almost like in Russian or in Latin languages. So you just need to learn how all those vowels and consonants look like, and then you can start reading different combinations of those letters. So let me just check a little bit if those um, if these letters and characters stayed in your mind. In the next slide, um, I will show you some of the names of yours, and you will have to guess what name is it. All right, just by looking at um, at the letters. Okay, so let's go for the first one. Okay, let's go back to the table. All right. And go back to the name. What name is it? I see you a bit confused. You remember what sound this vowel is? This one.
Yeah. A.
Okay, aka a. All right, a. What is this one? Okay, going from the end. What this vowel?
Ya.
Okay, then you start with.
Aliyah.
Alia.
All right, good. When you see there is a consonant re, right? Re. When you see that they're meeting with each other, it forms the sound L, right? So it's not aria, but alia, right? When these two letters, meet together. All right, go to another one.
A.
Oh, that's
All right,
A.
this one. What is this one?
O.
No. Okay, good.
Aituar.
Adwa.
Aituar, all right. Aituar. Okay, this is te, right? We saw with you. This is u. This is once again a. This is re, and this is u. In Korean language, it should be noted, usually words and consonants and vowels, they go, after each other. So there is no the consonants that go after consonant, so you say, when, for example, in my name, you will see further, my name is Vlad, and there is V and L, consonant go by consonant. But in Korean language, you cannot say Vlad. So you will see, I will show you. So what this name is? Do you remember what this consonant is?
Mika or something like that.
Yeah? Let's go back to the table and try to look. Here are the consonants. In a vertical table.
It's not there.
Could you find it? Could you find it? This one, right? Here it is.
Kamshat.
So
Really?
Easy, right? You already can read.
I was like, what is it? Is it kamshat or kam? Should.
It's actually kamshat. You see, there is
Oh
ya.
my god, it's my full name. Okay.
So this is the way Korean pronounce it, you know. If there is sound sh in Korean, you say ya, you know, after that. So if your name is kamshat, they pronounce it like shat, you know, like shat. Kamshat. All right. My name is actually much funnier, you know, so it's like the uniqueness of the language. Okay, let's go for another one. What name is this one? Do you remember what this consonant is? Okay, let's go back to the table. All right, this one, right?
Te.
So this one, we formed the mouth. We tubed it, right? We tube the mouth when we pronounce this vowel. We say go back to the table. You remember this one?
Oh.
Oh.
Tom.
Tom. Okay. So when the consonant and vowel meets with each other, instead of this circle, here comes the consonant, all right? So when we have te, instead of this circle, we put te, and it comes with the word.
It comes from om.
Yeah, did you see the circle
Yes.
in the alphabet? You see the circle? When consonant and vowel meets with each other, you have to replace this circle with the consonant, you know. So that's why when we go here and see o, instead of the circle, we see te, right? The consonant te. And then here's the M. All right, let's go further. I think it's the hard one. But let's start from here. Do you remember what sound it was? You recognize right? You recognized here. All right. So let's go back to the table and see if there is some familiar.
N.
Yes, and there is N, N. All right. And the first consonant. Can you find it here?
Cha. Cha? It is? No.
This one. This one.
Harus.
Look for the table and see what?
Cha.
J.
J, right?
J. Okay.
The sound
Take
J.
it in.
Okay, so what we find here?
What?
Jadra?
Jan, right? It says Jan.
Oh,
Jan.
yeah.
All right, so this is the end of this is the last part of the word. So this one, it's a little bit hard. Nope. What is this one?
Just dropping any name ending by Jean.
L.
But the first is R.
R or L.
Yeah, R, right? R, and this one, U, right? The vowel U. So guess this one. Rjan, Rjan, yes. Right? We say Rjan here. So what is here? What is here?
I give up.
Okay, let's go back to the table and see.
Yirjan.
Yes, absolutely right. There is no this one. It's a little bit harder here. So you see here, it's a little bit more complicated vowel, but not that complicated, but if you see here, this is yen, right? So let's go back to the names, and you see
Yurjan has a
almost the
special
same.
vowel for his name in Korean. That's cool.
Yerjan. All right, let's go further. We have a couple of names left. So
Yaska. Lazat.
no. Brandon
Sorry,
Way is not helping now.
We have friends and their husband and wife, Yirjan and Lazat, and I thought that Lazat thought of Chinese and Yirjan her husband, so it's interesting that I'm totally guessing. I'm so sorry.
So okay, you remember Ghana? What goes after that? Ghana, da, rama,
Ta.
ba,
Yeah,
right? Ba,
Ba.
ba. So when two R's meet with each other, what kind of sound they produce?
R.
Like
L.
here,
L.
L. All right, and this one,
A.
A. So combine
Ba.
here.
Baranina.
This one, which sound is this one here? The horizontal one.
E.
Right? Right. Right. So combine them.
Bula.
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 And then this one. Bula. And this one. Do you remember? This one.
D.
Which one?
D.
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 Right here. D. Right? D. So okay, coming back. What name is it?
Vlad.
Vlad. And how it sounds?
Vlad.
Yeah. So
Why
my name is
Vlad?
Vlad. My name is Vlad. And in Korean, my name is pronounced as Vlad. It is because there is no sound V in Korean language. So they replace it with B. All right. So my name is Vlad. And you remember the rule, right? The consonant goes, after the consonant goes, what? Vowel. So they have to go after each other. And that's why Vlad is my Korean name. All right, we have a couple of names left. Which one is this? It's easy. What is here? What consonant is this one?
Sa.
Sa.
See, this one here and this, they're similar.
S.
S, right? S.
Sara.
Sara. Okay, good. Sara. This one is funny. What is this? E. E. Ivan. All right. So in Russian, it's Ivan,
Wow.
but in Korean, it sounds funny, So it's Ivan. Let's go further. Which one?
Alı.
Arı, right?
Arı. N.
You remember here the same consonants. Arman. Okay, good. Arman. Arman. All right, nice. You're reading that. Okay, and the last one.
Na.
Okay, na and
Nadia.
Nadia. All right, Nadia. Okay, good job. You're almost reading now. So if you train a little bit with this table and try to memorize how the vowels and consonants look like, you will be able to read full sentences and full words. So as you can see, Korean alphabet is not Chinese characters. They are easy to remember. They're easy to learn. There is a specific system, And I remember when I was learning this alphabet, it took me like 5 days, to memorize all of them. So, and then after that, I could freely, read Korean text, even though I couldn't understand them, but, at least my memory, could recognize the signs. All right. So how much time do we have? Okay, let's go further. Just a basic way how to introduce yourself in Korean. So you say 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 Vlad입니다. 반갑습니다. So it says, hello, my name is Vlad. Nice to meet you. And here there is a table for you. So the only thing that you just have to put is your name and continue with other things, with other suffixes and words. So let's try to start. Oh, sorry. Just wanted to see how many of you are here. Okay, let's start with Nilay. Is it the right way? All right.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So you say basically 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Okay, 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
제 이름은
제 이름은 닐라이.
닐라이입니다.
닐라이입니다.
닐라이입니다. Once again. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
제 이름은
제 이름은 닐라이입니다.
Okay, and then 반갑습니다.
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 All right, once again, the whole sentence.
Okay. 안녕하세요. Okay, I forgot it.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 닐라입니다. I forgot the last one.
반갑습니다.
반갑습니다.
All right, good.
Thank you.
All right, next one. Aitwar, let's share with you. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Okay. 제 이름은 아이투아르입니다. 반갑습니다. Okay, once again by yourself.
안녕하세요. 제 이름은 아이투아르입니다. 반갑습니다.
All right, nice job. Aliyah, you want to try?
Sure.
Okay.
안녕하세요.
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 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 알리야입니다.
Yes.
반갑습니다.
All right. 반갑습니다. Right. Okay, once again with more confidence.
Oh, okay. 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 알리야입니다. 반갑습니다.
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 반갑습니다. 반갑습니다.
All right, good. Cool. 아이기림.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. You want to try by yourself? All right, let's do it together. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
제 이름은 아이기림입니다. 반갑습니다.
안녕하세요. 제 이름 아이기림입니다. 반갑습니다.
예, 반갑습니다.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Mahoka, right? Mahoka, is it right?
Yeah, that's correct.
I think it will be easy for you. You're from Japan, right?
Yeah, I'm from Japan.
Yeah, well, Japanese students were the best in my class. when
Oh,
they learned
don't say
Korean
that
language.
before saying that.
No, I'm
Okay,
saying
I'll
that
try.
because there are so many similar things, you know, even the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
pronunciation and grammar. So, all right, you want to go by yourself?
안녕하세요. 제 이름은 마호코입니다. 반갑습니다.
All right, good, good. Nice job. And Z, right? Z, is it right?
Yeah, it's right.
Okay.
안녕하세요. 제 이름은 지카입니다. 반갑습니다.
Nice, nice. And here we have Kamshat, right? Is she here?
She had to leave just shortly before.
All right, okay.
But we have Jadara here.
Jadra. Jadra. Is it Jadra from Toastmasters? No? Jadra, can we hear you?
Yeah. 안녕하세요.
All right.
제 이름은 I don't know how to pronounce my name in Korean.
Jadra. Your name is Jadra.
제 이름은 자드라입니다. 반갑습니다.
All right, good, good. You guys now can introduce yourself in Korea. Sorry. There is also another alternative way to introduce yourself. Here you see 제 이름은. It means my name. You know, it means my name. But when you say, for example, here 저는, it means I am. Sorry, I didn't fix it. Yeah. So when you just say 저는 Vlad입니다. You just basically say I'm Vlad, you know? So this is an alternative way, much easier because there is no like more words going on with this, you know, with this introduction. So you want to try this one? Cannot see you.
And what are you asking, Jadara?
No, I'm asking every one of you. You want to go?
Okay.
You want to go with you want to go with this introduction here?
Yes, well, we can do that.
All right. I cannot see your screens somehow.
So do you need to maybe assign someone? Yeah, like one by one. Like for example,
Let's
for
do
example,
the same.
Yeah, for example, Mahoko, you can start the third phrase with Junan.
Sure. So it's like 안녕하세요. 저는 마호코입니다. 반갑습니다.
Good, good.
So Niwai.
안녕하세요. 저는 닐라입니다. 반갑습니다.
Good. All right, next
And
one.
maybe I get him.
Which one?
The third one, with
one.
Jonan.
Okay. 안녕하세요. 저는 아이기림입니다. 반갑습니다.
We practice this one. 저는. Yeah, 저는.
And what did I say? Which bad word?
You say 제 이름은 or 저는?
저는. I tried to say 저는.
Okay. Sorry. I thought that you said 제 이름은. All right. Okay. You want to try once again?
Okay. 안녕하세요. 저는 아이기림 반갑습니다.
Okay. Good.
Z, maybe you.
Oh.
안녕하세요. 저는 지입니다. 반갑습니다.
반갑습니다.
We have Shadra.
안녕하세요. 저는 자드랍니다. 반갑습니다.
네, 반갑습니다. 저도 반갑습니다.
And okay, Alia, if you can.
안녕하세요. 저는 알리입니다. 반갑습니다. 반갑습니다.
반갑습니다. 안녕하세요.
Oh,
저는 알리아입니다. Alright,
yes,
good.
yes, good.
You want to try out, War?
Yes. 안녕하세요. 저는 아이투아르입니다. 반갑습니다.
Alright, good. Do we have anyone left?
I think everyone did, I hope.
All right. So I think for today, I hope it was useful for you to learn about the history, the theory of the history of the Korean language, and how the alphabet, is easy to learn and how to introduce yourself in Korean. I hope that probably in the future we'll have more chances, to meet with you, and I will show you some more things about Korean language because there are so many details. They're fun, they are similar, to those of you who know those Altai, those languages that belong to Altai friendly language. And yeah, it was nice to
but before you leave, let's have a group photo, and then as always, we at the end of the session we say thank you to our teacher. So for example, we say today we had a Korean language, and then we say thank you. For example, how we say thank you in Korean?
Oh, let me write it. You say 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
Yeah.
감사합니다.
Okay, so then let's try. We always have it recorded, so for as a sort of thank you note. So today we had a wonderful session of Korean with Vlad, and we want to say to him,
감사합니다.
감사합니다. All right.
And we heard you say that you're going to do this again, so we're very, very happy. And thank you so much, Vlad. This was amazing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Looking forward to next one.
All right, I'll try to come up with something.
But it was amazing. I mean, the historic context, then you sort of went into Korean alphabet, writing names, pronouncing names. It was really fun.
Glad that you like it. I see you guys have like people here from other countries as well. I see Mahoko, right? So
if maybe so you have like 2 minutes, yeah, as I suppose. So if anybody have some questions about Korean, so you can ask what, so he could answer.
It's actually more. I think I have like 6 minutes, so you guys can give me a feedback or ask any question.
So yeah. By the way, I had one question when we were pronouncing names, when we were saying our names. So it doesn't matter, like male name, female name, the same like ending, yeah, like окончание or I don't know.
Well, when you just want to pronounce your name without putting it into the sentence, it doesn't have any kind of suffixes. But when you are saying like 저는 Vlad입니다 or 알리아입니다, all the suffixes, they don't have this how do you call it, gender divisions. There is no genders in this language, so you use the same suffixes for all the same suffixes for all the words, for all the verbs, nouns, and etc.
Cool. And so what else? I think Z, yeah. So you are sort of studying Korean, yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
I did. I think I left Korea the year when Vlad came to Korea. So I left in 2012.
Oh, how long you been there?
3 years.
For 3 years.
Yes, I did my master in there.
You did you study by like Korean government scholarship?
Yes,
All right.
I did.
So you should know Korean very well then.
But it's also interesting to hear something from other people. 아, 어느 대학교 나오셨어요?
What?
어느 대학교 나오셨어요?
아, 예, 저 외대생이에요.
아, 그러셨구나. 잠셨습니다.
All right.
Cool.
Okay, so you got someone who could check me, on whether I could teach you wrong or right stuff.
Oh, really good. Are you in Korea now?
No, I'm back in Kazakhstan. I came back 3 years ago. I graduated from university and came back straightly. So yeah, it's been 3 years. I really miss food.
Me too. Don't mention. I thought you were somewhere in Japan or something because of background.
Oh no, no. Yeah,
You're
but it's
Chinese,
funny,
more
because in Korea people get really confused with the identity. Like I'm saying that I'm, ethnically Korean, but I speak Russian and I'm from Kazakhstan, and for them it's like, cognitive dissonance. Like how come it could happen? Then you have to tell them, history, all the things that happen in Soviet, and yeah, and then after that they get the right puzzle. So yeah.
We are funny Asians.
Yeah,
It's
funny
hard to guess
Asians.
where are we from?
Yeah, reading everyone is great. Yeah.
Cool.
Zika, are you still in Switzerland?
Yes, I'm still here. I'm struggling now with my German, and so it's kind of fun.
Getting Korean.
Sometimes it's not matching, like with my schedule is not matching, so I missed a lot of sessions of my lovely language mixer. It's
What do you
like,
mean
like a little bit socialization. I mean, and a little bit like for something for yourself, talk to other people. Yeah.
So how many languages does each of you know?
No, more older I am, like less I tell like that I know. I would say a little bit busy with. This is really impossible to learn it so good. Like I'm busy with 7 languages, more or less, and like unfortunately Korean it's kind it's not that popular in here in Switzerland. It's like more Chinese or a little bit less Japanese. And the people, they have no clue about Korea or Korean culture, and they mix even the logos of they don't know even companies. It's very sad. And there is no chance to talk like a lot in Korean. You're forgetting a little bit. But in Kazakhstan, it's always like you can meet some people who are interested in Korean languages. So cool. It's very sad.
How about others? Like Alia, how many languages you speak?
3.5.
Half? What is the half?
And a little bit French and a little bit understanding.
Yeah, nice. So language mixer is like basically the room for introducing many other different cultures and foreign languages.
Yep.
All right.
By the way, yeah, sorry. Yeah,
No,
I
sorry.
just want to tell that we're finally having first ever Russian session for Nilay because she's studying Russian.
All right. Okay. Before you start, I just want to say that, yeah, it was nice last hour, to spend with you. It was interesting, in terms of how I can teach you and how you guys, receive the information. I wish you know many languages, as many as possible. And yeah, have a good evening. And
Thank you so much.
Thank you
You
very
too.
much, Vlad.
Right.
Thank you. It was
감사합니다.
awesome.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Bye.
Thank you.